Good morning, second grade. We are going to start by reviewing just the two phonograms we need for our spelling words today. All right, so the first phonogram is ow, o, oo, What are you going to write? Good. Ow, o, oo, Write it and say it while you write it. All right, class, put your finger under that phonogram you just wrote. What is it? Good. Ow, o, oo, This is ow, o, oo, If you didn't have that, go ahead and write it in 3 times and say it while you write it. Ow, o, oo, All right, the next one is ya, it, I, e. What are you going to write? Good. Ya, it, I, e. Write it and say it while you write it. All right, class, what did you just write? Good. Ya, it, I, e. All right, our last phonogram that we need for our words today that I thought might be tricky is oo, oo. What are you going to write? Good. Oo, oo. Write it and say it while you write it. All right, class. Put your finger under that phonogram you just wrote. What is it? Good. Oo, oo. This is our oo, oo. All right, let's get into some words. All right, class, our first word is about. What's the word? Good, about. I had walked about a mile when I met the dog. About. About is a two-way word. To spell it, we have to say about. Class, how do we say about to spell it? Good, about. Put your hand on your chin. How many syllables are in about? Show me. Nice job. If you've got this, there are 2 syllables in about. The first syllable is a. What's the first syllable? Good, a. And that's the only sound. All right, we can't take it apart any further. All right, it's a in our first syllable. That's saying a. Class, what lets it say a? Nice job if you said it's an open syllable. All right, write that first syllable a. Say it while you write it. All right, our second syllable is bout. What's the second syllable? Good, bout. And what sounds do you hear in the syllable bout? Good, it's b, ow, t. All right, our ow is ow, o, oo, Which ow are we going to use in our second syllable? Good, ow, o, oo, Write that second syllable and say it while you write it. All right, class, put your finger under that first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good, a. And what lets our a, ah say a? Good, it's an open syllable. What's next? Good, b. Ow, which ow is it? Good, ow, o, oo, And good, our last sound is t. All right. Make sure yours looks like mine. And now we can mark it. Excellent. We need to underline it. It's saying its name. Good. We need to underline our ow, o, oo, and all right, let's read our word. Remember, we always read it first the way we say it to spell it if it's a two-way word. So we just say what we actually have on the board. Good. So it's about. But we don't say about when we're speaking. What do we say? Good. About. So which phonogram is going to get our thinking cap? Excellent. Our ah. All right, so this word, class, how do we say it to spell it? Good, about. But when we're speaking, what do we say? Excellent, about. All right, our next word is very. What's the word? Good, very. It was very cold this morning, very. How many syllables are in very? Show me. Excellent. There are 2 syllables in very. The first syllable is ver. What's the first syllable? Good, ver. And what sounds do you hear in ver? Good. That first syllable ver is v, r. All right. Let's go ahead and write just that first syllable. V, say the sounds while you write them. And put your syllable break after that. All right, our second syllable is E. Class, what's our second syllable? Good, E. That's just one sound. But we're going to use ya, I-E. Class, which E do we use in very? Good, ya, I-E. And what lets our ya, I-E say E? Excellent, it's an open syllable. So remember, I and Y are our less consistent vowels. Let's say that rule together. I and Y usually say E or I at the end of a syllable, but may say I. All right, write that last syllable in. Say it while you write it. All right, put your finger under the first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good. V, R, and good. E is the sound. Which E is it? Good. Ya, I-E. All right, make sure yours looks like mine. And let's mark it. Does this need a marking? All right, how do we mark this? It's saying its third vowel sound. I, E. Yep, so it gets a little 3 on top. All right, we'll say our sounds and put them together. Good, very. All right, the next word is city. Class, what's the next word? Good, city. We live in the city of Gallup City. How many syllables are in the word city? City, show me. Good, there are 2 syllables in city. The first syllable is sit. What's the first syllable? Good, sit. What sounds do you hear in the syllable sit? Good, it's s, I, t. All right, but wait, the rs is k, s. Which s are we going to use in city? Good, k, s. And what lets our k say s? All right, say it with me. C followed by E, I, or Y says s. All right, so we're going to use what s in city? Good. K, s. Write that first syllable. Say the sounds while you write it. All right. Our second syllable is E, class. What's our second syllable? Good, E. We're going to use ya, it, I, E. Which E are we going to use in city? Good, ya, it, I, E. Write it and say it while you write it. All right, class, put your finger under that first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good. S, but which S is it? Good. K, S. And what lets our K say S? Good. If you didn't say it before, say it with me. C followed by E, I, or Y says S. All right, what's next? Good. E. Good. And E is the sound, but which E is it? Good. Ya, it, I, E. All right, make sure your word looks like mine. And let's mark it. Does this need a marking? It doesn't, because we know anytime E, I, or Y comes after it, it's going to say S. Are we going to mark this? Show me. Good, it's saying its third vowel sound. So anytime it's saying E, it gets a 3 on top. All right, let's read our word, class. Good. All right, our next word is cities. Class, what's the word? Good, cities. I have visited 100 cities. So we're just going to make it plural. Usually, what do we do to make a noun plural? What do we add? Good. Usually, we just add S. But wait a minute. This word, our base word ends with a Y. We've got a rule that says when we're adding a suffix to a word that ends with Y, we have to trade our Y for something else. What do we trade our Y for? Good, we have to trade it for an I. All right, so we're going to write cities. Let's find how many syllables. Cities, show me. Good, it's still 2. The first syllable, sit, is going to be exactly the same. So go ahead and write that first syllable and say the sounds while you write it. All right, we're on to our second syllable, ease now. So we used Y before to say E. What are we going to trade it for that can also say E? Good, I, I, E. So write it, I, E after your syllable break. All right, great. The tricky thing here is not trading the Y for an I, it's that we can't just add S when we do our Y exchange rule. We have to add ES. All right, so after your I-E, we're going to have a silent E and then S. So go ahead and write that. All right, put your finger under the first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good. And which is it? Good. Good. All right, this syllable was just the same as this one. All right, what's next? Good, E, but which E is it? Good, I, E. Next we have a silent E. And our last sound? Good, it's actually Z, but I was saying S, so we'll add our Z. All right, this is the first time we've seen our Y exchange rule in an actual spelling word. Let's go ahead and mark our word. Let's see, this is saying E. How are we going to mark it? Good, anytime this says E, it also gets a 3 on top. How about this? It's silent. Every silent letter gets what? Excellent. And then let's see. Z, is this saying its first or second sound? Show me. Good, it's saying its second sound. All right, let's read our word now, class. Good, cities. All right. Our next word is post. What's the word? Good, post. I wasn't looking where I was going and I almost walked into a post. Post. What sounds do you hear in the word post, class? Good, our sounds are P, O, S, T. All right, this is A, O, U. How can we make our A, O, U say O? Let's see, we have 2 letters after it, so it's not going to be a silent final E, job 1. And it's not at the end of a syllable because post is just 1 syllable. So it's not an open syllable. What's the other way that our O can say its name? If you remember, say it with me. I and O may say I and O when followed by 2 consonants. All right, and S and T are both consonants. All right, so what's letting our A, O, U say O? Say it with me. I and O may say I and O when followed by 2 consonants. All right, write those sounds and say them while you write them. All right, class, put your finger under the first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good. O. Good. Excellent. And T. All right, class, what lets our A, O, U say O? Say it for me. Excellent. I and O may say I and O when followed by 2 consonants. All right. Let's mark our word. Does this need a marking? Excellent. It's saying its name, so we need to underline it. How about this? All right. Let's read our word. Excellent. All right. Our next word is place. What's the word, class? Good. Place. My house is my favorite place to be. Place. What sounds do you hear in the word place? Good. Our sounds are P, O, A, S. All right. Our A is A-A-ah. What's going to let our A-A-ah say A? Good. Silent final E, job 1. But wait, that's doing one other thing in our word. Our S is K, S. Which S do we use in place? Good. K, S. And what lets it say S? Say it with me. C followed by E, I, or Y says S. All right, so write the sounds in place and say them while you write them. All right, class, put your finger under the first phonogram in place. What does it say? Good. An O, an A, S. And which S is it? Good. K, S. And excellent silent final E. Job 1. Make sure yours looks like mine. And let's mark it. Does this need a marking? No. Good, we need to underline that because it's saying its name. How about this one? Yes, it's part of that team, the Job 1 team, and good. Of course, we're going to double underline our silent final E, Job 1. All right, let's read our word. All right, we have one more word, and that word is look. Class, what's the word? Good, look. It is important to look both ways before you cross the street. Look. What sounds do you hear in the word look? Good, our sounds are O, K. Our O is O. Which O do we use in look? Good, O. All right, and our K is a line letter K. Class, which K are we going to use? Good, line letter K. All right, write the sounds in look and say them while you write them. Put your finger under that first phonogram in the word you just wrote. What does it say? Good, O. What's next? Good, O. Which O is it? Good, O. And good, K is the last sound. Which K do we use? Good, line letter K. All right. Make sure your word looks like mine. And let's mark it. Does this need a marking? How about this? Good, we need to underline it. Wait, what are the two sounds of this phonogram? Good, oo. So what do we have to put on top? Right, it's saying its second sound. And how about this? All right, let's say our sounds and put them together. All right, nice work with this lesson, class.